Hey Angie, this is Demetrius with Incumbent Solutions. So thank you for reaching out for your website audit. And what I did is I typed in organic yoga clothing, and I'll show you why in just a moment. And when I did that, you'll notice that there's some businesses running ads here at the top of the page. And as we scroll down, you'll start noticing some organic listings here and some frequently asked questions. And what we have here is known as the map pack. Now, the map pack is really great, especially for local search, because about 70% of people that are looking locally tend to stop here in the map pack. So if your business, which you're showing up number one here, happens to show up in the map pack, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get the lion's share of those inquiries or phone calls or clicks on your website. And so I noticed you guys are sitting number one here, which is awesome. That being said, one of the things that I did notice that stood out is you have no reviews. And I notice you are, on a majority of the social platforms. And so same thing with your Google listing, right? It's social proof, and you want to have some reviews there. Even if you ask some friends or family, things like that, get those reviews up and going, because people make decisions on those just in your own consumer shopping and whatnot, kind of think of how you make decisions, right? And so you want to get some reviews there. But otherwise, kudos for what you have done showing up in the map pack. And one of the biggest things that allows you to show up in the map pack is citations. And so citations are anywhere that your name, address, and phone number show up on the web. Now, creating social pages are a great way to build those citations, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things. And then also directories, like Yelp and the Yellow Pages and Dex and things like that, right? So great job there. But let's get some reviews going, and that'll help you stand out just a little bit more, right, above the competition, because you look here and you see that really the 3-1, right? So if we get 8-10, start getting in double-digit reviews, that's only going to boost your credibility here. Then as we scroll down, we go into the organic rankings again, and you'll notice that your competitor Yoga Hyde is sitting there at number 2, just below the map pack. And general rule of thumb is that if you're in the top 3, you're getting roughly 30 to 40% of those clicks organically, right? And so what really helps is when you are in the map pack and you rank organically, right? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we can get you into this space here, right? And so what I did is I ran in this little tool that I use called Ahrefs, and this here gives me a snapshot of the keywords that a particular web page is ranking for. And so it showed me here that you are obviously you're ranking for your brand name, which is awesome, because a lot of times businesses do not rank for the brand name. And so it tells me that people are finding you generally either know who you are, they found you through like your social platforms and things like that, right? And so that's how that ends up happening there. And so your brand name, Interwaves Organics, has a monthly search volume of 60, and you're in position 1 for that, and it generates about 19 hits a month of traffic to your website for that specific keyword, right? And then as you scroll down, you'll notice organic yoga clothing, right, which is what I searched, right? And so that tended to be, kind of one of the main search terms that the people would look for when they're wanting organic clothing for yoga, right? And so that keyword generates roughly 100 searches a month, and you're currently in position 12, so that's second page, and you're getting just under 5 hits a month to your site for that particular keyword, right? Now, let's take a look at competitors' keyword rankings, right? Yoga Hyde. And for the same keyword, right, organic yoga clothing, 100 searches a month, they're in position 2, right, which we saw, and they're getting 41 hits a month to their site, right? And so I'm sure you can probably tell just from your own numbers, kind of what average sales are based on people that are coming to your site. But if it's 10% or 20%, right? What does that start to look like for your bottom line if you can start getting these numbers up, right? And so one of the things I'm going to talk about here is we're going to take a look at your actual website, right? And so, let's hide. Let's go. Okay, interways. Here we go. Okay, so homepage, right off the bat, you have the keyword in your page title, which is awesome, right? It's going about occupying as much space as possible using keywords that people are searching for. And so great job there. And content, half of ranking a website, even when it comes to e-commerce sites, is content, right? When you need to rank. And so having authoritative content on your site and interweaving the keywords that you're wanting to rank for, right? So let's take a peek here and see if we can find organic yoga clothing, and we do not, right? So the number one keyword that we want to rank for, you don't even have it one time on your website, right? And so just adding some content. It doesn't have to be outrageous, but another couple hundred words and weave that in a time or two, right? That'll help. And then obviously interlinking through to other pages on your site. It helps, and I see you've done that a few times there, so that's great. And then calls to action, right? You want to have calls to action, right? Shop organic, which is good. I noticed you don't have a phone number listed anywhere, right? Which may or may not, be a huge deal, obviously, with e-com. But then again, calls to action for people to start shopping, right? And then let's take a look at Yoga Hyde, right, comparatively. And they do not have, they have one word in their yoga, right, in their brand name. But other than that, they don't have the main search keyword in their page title. And let's see if they have it on their homepage. And they do not as well, right? So the thing about search engine optimization is that Google is really an open book test, right? And it'll show you what needs to be done to hedge out the competition, right? And so it's really just going above and beyond what they are doing, right? And so if they're able to sit in position 2 with what they've done, right, all we have to do is match that and then do a little more, right? And so let's just scroll over at their site, which I'm sure you probably have. Yeah, and you notice they don't have much content at all, and so you're beating them out there, but obviously we want to keep adding on. So one thing with ecom is your your product descriptions, right? And so let's click on this one here. And so another thing that you can do to help stand out is including the keywords in your product description, right? So like in here, that will help boost traffic and ranking as well, right? And so I'm not sure how many products you have, but you can tweak and add a little bit here and there, and you don't have to do it all in one go. But doing that will definitely help. And then last but not least, I wanted to take a look at backlinks. And so backlinks are essentially votes to your site, but not all votes are created equal. And so, so here, the UR and DR, right, is essentially the strength of your website and the links are being that you have pointing back to your site. And so these numbers are based on a metric of 0 to 100. Obviously, the closer to 100, the better. And kind of the golden ratio is if you divide these numbers, the closer you get to 1, the better. And so you see, you got a little bit of work to do. And so here you have 937 backlinks, and of those, only 120 are referring or sending votes back to your site, right? And so the best way to explain that is the more relevant that the links are, the more strength it sends back to your site, right? And so, for example, if you're, linking to another yoga site, or whether it's a blog or another business, something like that, right? It's going to send you more juice than if you were linking to, say, Pizza Hut, right? Because you're not in the business of selling pizzas. And so, let's take a look at Yoga Hyde's site, at their page, and you'll notice here that their UR and DR is a lot closer, right? They have a lot more backlinks, and also more backlinks that are referring back to them, right, and sending them more votes, right, which ends up leading to more keywords, but that's not a deal breaker there. Don't necessarily need keywords if they're not something that buyers aren't using or looking for when they're buying. But the traffic here is a clue, which also leads to traffic value, right? And so, taking a look back at yours, right, you go from 90 hits of traffic a month, right, and the traffic value is only $39 compared to 444 with $555 of traffic, right? And so, there's definitely some work that can be done to hedge out Hyde, or at least get on par with them, and potentially take that number one spot, right? Because as I look, when we scroll down and we go to page 2, notice in here you are with interwaves, right? And so you're not too far off. It doesn't take a tremendous amount of work to go from page 2 to page 1, but there's some work involved, and it's doable, right? It's a lot. You have a lot better chance than someone that's on page 10 and wanting to be on page 1, right? And so there, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. If you'd like to know more or learn or know how to move forward, please give me a shout. You can give me a call. My number is 541-408-2206, or just reply through the email when I send you this video, and we can go from there. Thanks.